Students, today you will see the last lecture of toxic work environment, that is withdrawal behavior. We have discussed the several aspects of toxic work environment, starting from ostracism, cynicism, different things, but today we will see the withdrawal behavior, that is one of the consequences of ostracism. Effect of the cynicism. Withdrawal behavior is nothing that because of some negativity in the organization, some employees in organizations, they used to remain absent and they leave the organizations and they have some of negative issues about the organization. So many things will be discussed today to this particular lecture. Agenda, let us see, concept will be defining definitely, statistics about withdrawal, employee withdrawal, and definition of withdrawal behavior, psychological withdrawal behavior, forms of physical withdrawal behavior, theories of examining withdrawal behavior, causes of employee withdrawal behavior, consequences of withdrawal behavior, strategies to reduce employee withdrawal behavior, role of HR in managing withdrawal behavior. That means so many things are there basically. If some people leave the organization, some people they remain absent and they have some kind of turnover intention and they have some kind of negative issues toward the organizations, so that comes under the withdrawal behavior. Then definitely you will be learning what are the causes why this withdrawal behavior is very common practice. No any organizations may be perfect. There may be the chances of ostracism, cynicism, bad leadership, toxic environment is very common things. But ultimately, what way you can improve this kind of things? What way you can develop? What way you can keep aside, sideline the toxicity? So see one by one all of matters. That concept of withdrawal behavior refers to the set of actions that employees engaged in to distance themselves from their organization's job or work environment. You just distance yourself, job or work environment, and you are not taking any kind of interest about the day-to-day activities of the organization. And this is the one of the concept. It is typically a response to dissatisfaction, stress, workplace conflict, perceived injustice, negative organizational experience. That is that because of why people are keeping themselves isolated from the organizations, that is so-called withdrawal behavior. Dissatisfaction, stress, workplace politics, perceived injustice, negative organizational experience. That may not be shorter period. I think that once people are dissatisfied and they are not having good liaising with the organization or superior, bitter relationship as far as LMX is concerned, slowly and gradually these particular employees leave the organization. That is the last consequences of withdrawal behavior. Now see what is why it is very important. Sum of survey 2023 revealed that 26% of Indian employees were contemplating leaving their current jobs within the next year. There is 26% of Indian employees were contemplating leaving their current jobs within the next year, and that is one of the great issues basically. 2023 study says that some people are interested, some people are not interested to serve this organization, they want to leave the organizations. Attrition rate across India is reached 17.4% in 2024, although it's not clear exactly, it is the overall 17%, but it's not clear which organizations having the more attrition rate, since organizations HR they are not disclosing this particular fact, that because of that may cause some other negative issues of organization. A comprehensive study published in 2024 reported an average absenteeism rate is 13.29% in Indian industrial sector. Dhawan and Ahmed 2024. What exactly 13% absenteeism is very important. Absenteeism means you have leave and forcefully you are taking leave. Sometimes you are not attending particular day that without taking any kind of leaves, and this is happening, and this is the growing concern of Indian industrial sector. That means you will be knowing that is the symptom of the withdrawal behavior. Now see definition of withdrawal behavior. There are so many definitions of given by different organizations. Since it is very action oriented tasks, action oriented issues, withdrawal behavior refers to intentional action by an employee aimed at avoiding work or reducing their socio-psychological involvement and interest in their job or organizations. Blue Dawn 1982. Withdrawal behavior involves actions that create either a physical or psychological separation between employer and the workplace. Rose and Hulin. Withdrawal behavior consists of negative actions employees take to avoid work responsibilities in response to unavoidable organizational conditions. Hansik and Hulin 1990. Withdrawal behavior encompasses a set of attitudes and behavior displayed by employees experience a decline in job performance. Shapira and Johar 2011. That means all of definition what they express basically, it is very common. You are keeping distance yourself from the responsibility. You are not ready to accept any kind of additional responsibility. It is one of the common symptoms. I think it is the everywhere you can find. That means they are not happy with the organizations. Now see, in motivation you can see that apart from financial incentives, some organizations they are giving some non-financial, that means giving some kind of authority, but people are not ready to accept authority or responsibility. That because of toxic environment, that because of some bad image about the organizations, employees are feeling like that. Now see dimensions of withdrawal behavior: psychological withdrawal behavior, physical withdrawal behavior. Psychological withdrawal refers to the mental or emotional disengagement in an employees from their work, organizations or colleagues, and physical withdrawal behavior involves tangible actions employees take to distance themselves from their workplace of job responsibilities. This very psychological and physical, it's the action oriented basically, that behavioral and physical both are equally important. Without taking any kind of responsibility, you are not interested to take any kind of responsibilities. You are keep distance about the organizational functioning. So both are the dimensions basically, physical or psychological, withdrawal behavior. Now see forms of psychological withdrawal behavior: chatting with co-workers about non-work topics, withdrawal behavior. That means you are not taking interest about some kind of policies adopted by organizations, And when some people talking about organizational policies and you just keeping away from that, you start chatting with some other work, some other issues. Cyber looping is also one of the very important time that in workplace you are doing different types of other activities and family related activities and other activities, and you are not focusing on organizational responsibilities. Employee silence, you remain silent, whatever you do, and I am not interested, I just keep myself very silent. So these are all the things showing minimum effort at work. This is also one of the very important symptoms of psychological withdrawal behavior, minimum effort at work. That means this is you are not only interested in task performance, indoor, external performance may be another things. Whatever prescribed in the job description, you are not ready to work this kind of things also. So spending overtime on personal matters, thought of leaving current job, turnover intention. This is the sum of psychological symptoms of what I said, that the withdrawal behavior. Now more important things, forms of physical withdrawal behavior. Physical means which is visible: absenteeism, early retirement, fallen asleep at work, lateness, prolonged break times, turnover. These are all some of crucial things. It is oftenly you can observe almost all of organizations. That means you are following, you are not happy with the organizations, and your workplace is not the inclusive workplace. As a result, you are taking leave continuously, remain absent, you are planning for early retirement, you are fallen asleep at work, lateness, and it's very common things, lateness and other things coming in organizations, in office at late every time, break times 1 hour, half an hour, you are taking more, I think, turnover intention. These are all some of physical symptoms. Now see theories explaining withdrawal behavior. Students, breached expectation of fair treatment, insecurity and growth lead to cynicism, mistrust, disengagement and turnover. I think this is one of the major concern almost all of organization. Psychological contract theory. Exactly origin of this kind of thoughts. Why withdrawal behavior? That because of breaching psychological contract. Now policymakers needs to focus on what way we can foster the psychological contract, what way you can maximize psychological contract. That means you can improve the effectiveness and other things leveraging psychological contract. An imbalance between high job demands and low resource causes stress, burnout, withdrawal, while sufficient resource boosts engagement. Job demand resource model. This is also one of the JDR model is much important. That means high job demand and low resource causes stress, burnout and withdrawal behavior. The job demand resource is now more topic in organizational research. Perceived lack of organizational support leads to neglect, lower commitment and withdrawal, while supportive environment enhance engagement and loyalty. Organizational support theory. Now see, if you support perceived organizational support, that is one of the main important theory given by one person, Sandberger et al. 1986. That shows that if you support the people, organizational support is concerned in different ways among to the different group of employees. Ultimately, that lead some good symptoms. Ultimately, that affect on organizational effectiveness. Otherwise, if you neglect, then definitely lower commitment, withdrawal, and while supportive environment, enhance environment, engagement and loyalty. Both the theories, psychological contract, demand, job demand, resource theory and the organizational support theory, all these things shows that if you are not using this theory in right way, ultimately that may cause withdrawal behavior. That is the sources of withdrawal behavior. Now see some of causes of employee withdrawal behavior. That means it is also one of the what I said that negative construct. Causes so-called antecedents or the factors or the predictors which lead the organizational ostracism. Number one, workplace ostracism, already have discussed. That means sometimes we are ignoring or excluding some of people and that cause workplace ostracism. Job dissatisfaction, unhappiness with work roles, compensation or environment. Job dissatisfaction, that means is very one of the main concern nowadays. You are not satisfied with the quality of life, quality of work life. You are not satisfied with the job defined in the job description. And there are so many reasons why people are dissatisfied. I think that exclusion is not only the causes of dissatisfaction. There are quality of work life is not sound and ultimately that affect on quality of life. And work life balance is not sound, that may cause the dissatisfaction. Workplace stress and burnout, overwork, lack of support or excessive demands. And I think this is also one of the main concern. Role clarity is also one of the main concern. That means you are not clarifying exactly what works to be done by an employee. What you are doing, what we are performing basically, that is extra, which is not defined in the job profile. It is not defined in job description. So as a result, people may burn out. There may be some other reasons. Now, perceived organizational injustice is very important. You are not distributing your resources, you are not sharing all of information in real way equally, and you are indulging some kind of favoritism and biased in rewards and promotions. All these cases, all of the main concern about withdrawal behavior, lack of growth opportunities, limited career progression or skill development. You are not identifying people who is needed skill and you are not giving more importance about the employee's career. And your organization is not the learning and development organization. So many things are there, Career is first, remember. Students, career is first. I think that should be the responsibility of the organizations. Always focus on the career of employees. If you focus on career of employees, then definitely employees will be happy and they will contribute more for the development of organizations. Now see, toxic work environment, bullying, harassment, unethical leadership, this is very common practice almost some of organizations. Now see consequences of withdrawal behavior. Some of consequences you can find basically some of reasons why I think withdrawal behavior, what is the negative or positive side of effects is concerned. Reduced productivity performance, increased employee turnover, high absenteeism, associated cost, lower employee morale and engagement, decline in innovation and creativity, poor customer service and reputation damage, disruption in teamwork and collaboration, increased workplace stress and burnout, risks of organizational cynicism, resistance to change, legal and compliance risks. These are all very important part. I think approx 10 points are there basically which help you that what kind of consequences of bitter practices of withdrawal behavior. Now see legal compliance becomes now more important. I think you can find every day some kind of legal suit are there basically which that because of withdrawal behavior, that because of some of wrong practices of toxic leadership and some other patterns of workplace culture in the organization. Some of points which is very important need to be cleared. Basically, poor customer service and reputation image damage is very important. Organizational success, organizational reputation, and employer branding. All these things are badly affected. That because of what I said, that the withdrawal behavior. Now, what is the things? What way we can improve reduce the withdrawal behavior? That means what practice we need, what way can develop the wrong aspect of withdrawal behavior, enhance trust and transparency, improve communication, socialization, support employees during transition, address concern of middle and senior management, encourage knowledge sharing and collaboration, provide career growth and development opportunities, recognize reward employees contribution, strengthen workplace culture, employee engagement, reduce job uncertainty and job work stress, foster leadership support and managerial involvement. So many things are there. Basically, one point I need to clarify to all of you, encourage knowledge sharing and collaboration is very important things. Knowledge sharing is now almost very important part of almost all of organizations. That the creation of knowledge and its sharing among the different group of employees, because without sharing knowledge as far as work structure is concerned, as far as job role is concerned, employees development, organizational development is not possible. So all these things are equally important. I think reduce job uncertainty or job stress, this is one of the more important content nowadays which we need to focus very importantly, because job insecurity and the job uncertainty and the job work stress that leads the major causes of withdrawal behavior, whether it is psychological or whether it is something like that action oriented withdrawal behavior or physical withdrawal behavior. Now see, this practice, whatever suggestions I am prescribing, there is the output of one research, that is Tian et al. 2021. What way you can apply some of strategy to reduce the withdrawal behavior. Now see, as you have seen, that is the last lecture of toxic work environment, that the withdrawal behavior. So what is the learning context basically? You will be the prospective employees of some organizations. You may be the victim of withdrawal behavior. Now see, what is the strategy you need from your part? Behavioral strategy, what you need basically, It's not possible every cases, organizations will support you. It's not necessary. But so many practices are there basically, Employees has to defend themselves. Employees has to create their own strategy. What way you can cope up this kind of organizational cynicism and ostracism, because these affect on withdrawal behavior. And I think some of other theories are there, isolation is not bad. Isolation is also the strength. And cynicism is also, if you have some negative, feelings about the organization, so you can develop the good feelings. So it's not the organizational responsibility. I think employees himself, herself has to develop some mechanism by his or her own, so that you can free from this kind of negative behavior of organizations. Now, some of role of managing withdrawal behavior, basically, which is much important for every organizations. What is the HR role? Monitoring employee engagement, implementing retention strategies, creating a positive work environment, encouraging work-life balance, and strengthening leadership and communication. These are all the HR role basically. What way we can manage the withdrawal behavior, because OB and HR both are interrelated, you know. HR role is also significant in organization behavior. Organization behavior role is also significant in HR. So HR domain is very important. Positive work environment, that is one of the maintenance function of HR. That means you need to keep up the motivation and some other techniques, so that employees can maintain their same level of motivation over the period of time. Some questions I have designed for you people that can help you to understand this particular topic very scientific way. What are the dimensions and the forms of withdrawal behavior? What are the different theories explaining withdrawal behavior? What are the antecedents and outcomes of withdrawal behavior? What strategies can be implemented to reduce withdrawal behavior? So this is very important to understand. All these things have been discussed very seriously. So you just see the some theories, and you can modify you can have the more discussion of this particular theory by understanding the different research paper that will help you. I am telling you, there is the lesser books or the text basically on this particular topic, and I am suggesting to see the some specific books that specific journal articles or research paper that will help you to understand this particular concept very intelligently. Some of reference are given for your purpose basically, you know, like as Dhawan and Ahmed 2024, Dreesen M 2023, Dimeli 2000, Mishra 2022. These are all good number of books are there basically, you know, you can see it's very much available in different electronic forum, electronic pages. So all these things will help you to understand what the level of withdrawal behavior, and what are the practicing withdrawal behavior, what are the strategies to reduce the withdrawal behavior in certain organizations. You must be remembering this particular fact that withdrawal behavior is very common practices that has to be kept at certain level. So it needs some sort of research in different academic field, academic institution, or business concern is concerned. So ultimately we will have the modest techniques through which we can reduce the withdrawal behavior. Thank you very much.